Let's be real. If you're broke right now, chances are you'll still be broke by the end of the year. And no, it's not because the universe is unfair or because you're unlucky. It's because of you and how you think. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. It's easier to point fingers at inflation, blame the economy, or claim the system is rigged. But let me strip all that away for a moment. If you look closely, you'll see that the real reason you're stuck is staring at you in the mirror. And here's the kicker. It's not just about money. It's about the habits you've built, the lies you've convinced yourself are true, and the comfort zone you've become addicted to. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Most people don't even want to escape their comfort zones. They just want to feel good complaining about them. That's why today, I'm going to do what the Stoics were famous for. Confront reality, no matter how uncomfortable it is. I'm going to break down the psychology of staying broke and why it feels so easy to stay where you are. But more importantly, I'll show you how Stoic principles can help you break free from that mindset and build the discipline to change your financial reality. Because being broke isn't just about the dollars in your bank account. It's about the mental traps that keep you stuck. If you're ready to face those traps head on, stick with me. Let's get into it. Let me ask you something. How many times have you blamed your financial situation on something outside your control? Inflation, a bad boss, the unfair system. I get it, it feels natural to point the finger outward. It's comforting to believe that the problem is out there somewhere. But let me tell you what the Stoics knew. Comfort is often the enemy of progress. Here's the truth. Being broke isn't about money. It's about the habits, mindset, and excuses that keep you stuck. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start saving when I make more money, or it's just one splurge, it won't hurt my budget. Meanwhile, you're scrolling social media for hours, or spending money you don't have on things you don't need. Sound familiar? You see, most people have a twisted relationship with money. They think the problem is the lack of it. But the real issue is their unwillingness to face the truth about how they're living. It's easier to blame circumstances than to admit that you're part of the problem. Here's a hard pill to swallow. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you've chosen habits that keep you stuck. You've chosen comfort over growth, and you've chosen short-term gratification over long-term progress. The Stoics had a word for this, akrasia. It's the state of knowing the right thing to do, but choosing not to do it. Marcus Aurelius warned against this when he said, "You could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow." So if you're broke, it's not just because of external circumstances, it's because your mind is trapped in patterns that you haven't challenged. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Let's talk about what's really keeping you broke. It's not just bad habits or poor choices. It's how your mind is wired to avoid discomfort at all costs. Your brain doesn't care about your long-term success. It's programmed to seek comfort, safety, and instant gratification. And here's the kicker: comfort keeps you broke. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." But here's the twist. What if your problem isn't what you want, but what you avoid? Avoiding effort, avoiding responsibility, avoiding the discipline it takes to grow. Think about it. Every time you choose Netflix over learning a new skill, every time you buy something you don't need instead of saving for what truly matters, you're avoiding discomfort. And that avoidance, it's sabotaging your growth. Your mind creates stories to justify this. I deserve a break. I'll start tomorrow. One little splurge won't hurt. But here's the truth. These stories aren't harmless. They're traps. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What does this mean for you? It means that wealth, progress, and success are not about what happens around you. They're about what happens within you. The Stoics teach us that you can't control the economy, your boss, or the stock market, but you can control how you show up in the world. It's about asking yourself hard questions. Am I spending money to feel good or to build something meaningful? Am I avoiding responsibility because it's uncomfortable? Am I choosing comfort over effort, knowing it will cost me later? When you're willing to confront these questions and act on the answers, you're taking the first step toward breaking free from the mindset that keeps you stuck. Now that we've identified the problem and the mindset traps keeping you broke, let's talk solutions. And not just any solutions, Stoic solutions. The kind that challenge your thinking, push you out of your comfort zone, and most importantly, work. Here are 3 steps you can start applying today. Step 1. Take responsibility. The first step to breaking free from being broke is to take full responsibility for where you are right now. And let me be clear, this isn't about self-blame or beating yourself up. It's about realizing that no one is coming to save you. If you feel stuck, whether it's in your finances, relationships, career, or personal growth, it's up to you to take ownership and change it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. What does this mean? It means that while external circumstances may play a role in your struggles, the way you respond to those circumstances is entirely within your control. Let me ask you, how often have you blamed your situation on outside forces? The economy, bad luck, toxic people, or even your past? It feels easier to shift the blame, doesn't it? But every time you do, you're giving away your power. Here's the hard truth. Being broke isn't just about what's happening around you. It's about the patterns you've allowed to continue unchecked. It's about the habits you've chosen, the excuses you've leaned on, and the opportunities you've ignored because they were inconvenient or uncomfortable. Taking responsibility means asking yourself tough questions. Am I stuck because of circumstances or because of how I've responded to them? What patterns have I repeated that keep leading to the same results? What choices have I made or avoided that have kept me where I am? This isn't about shame, it's about clarity. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Taking responsibility is powerful because it shifts the narrative. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances, you become the architect of your future. The Stoics believed that while you can't control what life throws at you, you have complete control over how you respond. And it's in that response where real change begins. But let me warn you, taking responsibility is uncomfortable. It means looking yourself in the mirror and admitting, I'm here because of choices I've made. It means no more excuses, no more blaming others, and no more waiting for some magical breakthrough. The good news is, once you take ownership of your situation, you gain the power to change it. You realize that being broke isn't a life sentence. It's a temporary state, one that can be altered the moment you decide to stop running from responsibility and start taking action. Step 2. Embrace discomfort. If there's one universal truth the Stoics understood, it's this: growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to break free from being broke, whether in your mindset, health, relationships, or goals, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." The very obstacles you avoid are the same ones keeping you stuck. Every time you choose the easy path, skipping the workout, avoiding the hard conversation, or procrastinating on learning something new, you're feeding the cycle that keeps you stagnant. It feels harmless in the moment, but these small decisions compound over time and leave you exactly where you are. The truth is, your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. It's constantly seeking the path of least resistance, steering you toward distractions like Netflix, social media, or impulse purchases to escape the momentary pain of effort. And society reinforces this with endless promises of quick fixes and instant gratification. But here's the harsh reality. Shortcuts don't lead to fulfillment. They're just detours that keep you from addressing what really matters. The Stoics knew this. That's why they practiced what they called voluntary discomfort, challenging themselves to live without luxuries, endure hardship, and face fears head-on. Why? Because they understood that the ability to embrace discomfort is what makes you resilient and unshakable. Start small. Replace 30 minutes of passive entertainment with something that challenges you, a workout, a skill you've been avoiding, or even a moment of reflection. Say no to instant gratification, even when it's tempting. Pause before buying something you don't need and ask yourself, is this adding value to my life? Or is it just another distraction? Face one fear, no matter how small. Whether it's starting a new project or having a difficult conversation, do it scared. These small acts of discomfort build discipline over time, and discipline is the foundation of growth. The beauty of discomfort is that it's temporary, but the growth it creates lasts forever. Every time you choose the harder path, you're building resilience and self-respect. What feels difficult today will become your new normal tomorrow. The Stoics didn't seek discomfort because they enjoyed suffering. They did it because they knew that strong character is forged in challenges, not in comfort. So let me ask you, what's one uncomfortable thing you've been avoiding? That's exactly where you need to start. Step 3. Focus on what you can control. Here's a simple truth. Most of the stress, frustration, and stagnation in your life comes from wasting energy on things you can't control. You get angry at the economy, resent your circumstances, or compare yourself to others, but none of that changes where you are. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Epictetus taught the dichotomy of control, the idea that life can be divided into two categories, things within your control and things outside of it. Real freedom, he said, comes from focusing only on what's within your power and letting go of the rest. Think about how much of your day is spent worrying about things you can't influence. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control whether opportunities fall into your lap, but you can control how prepared you are to seize them. You can't control the economy, your boss, or even random setbacks, but you can control your mindset, your habits, and your effort. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's deeply practical. When you shift your focus to what you can control, you free yourself from the mental exhaustion of trying to fix the unfixable. Instead of wasting time and energy on things beyond your reach, you channel it into actions that actually make a difference. It's like clearing away the noise so you can finally hear what matters. For example, if you're unhappy with where you are, start by looking at your habits. Are they aligned with the person you want to become? If not, change them. If you feel stuck in your career, focus on improving your skills, building your network, or finding ways to stand out. If you're frustrated by external circumstances, focus on the one thing you can always control, your attitude. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The beauty of this approach is that it puts the power back in your hands. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your life. You stop blaming, complaining, and waiting for things to change, and instead, you take action, no matter how small. It's not about fixing everything overnight. It's about taking one deliberate step at a time, knowing that each step is moving you closer to where you want to be. The world will always throw challenges at you. That's life. But by focusing on what you can control, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. So, let me ask you, what's one thing within your control that you can change today? Start there and watch how everything else begins to shift. Let me level with you. Being broke isn't just about where you are. It's about the story you're telling yourself about where you can go. Every time you choose comfort over effort, every time you avoid responsibility, and every time you waste energy on things you can't control, you're reinforcing the same narrative. This is just who I am. But here's the truth. That story is a lie. You're not your bad habits, your fears, or your excuses. You're the choices you make from this moment forward. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life wasn't found in external success or luck. It was found in how you show up every single day. So let me ask you, what's keeping you stuck? Is it fear, laziness, doubt? Whatever it is, it's not as powerful as you think. You have the ability to rewrite your story, to stop living passively and start living with intention. But it starts with a decision to stop tolerating the things that keep you broke and start building the habits, discipline, and mindset that lead to growth. The next time you catch yourself falling into old patterns, I want you to remember this. Being broke is a choice. And every choice you make, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you're becoming. Are you voting for the same version of yourself or for something greater? This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And the best part, you don't have to fix everything overnight. You just have to take one step today, right now. The path to breaking free starts with that single step. Conclusion. Here's the reality. Being broke isn't your destiny. It's a state of mind, a set of choices, and a series of habits that you've allowed to take root. But the good news is, just as you've created this version of your life, you can create a new one. The Stoics teach us that we are not powerless. Our circumstances may shape us, but our responses define us. Today, we've uncovered the truth about why so many people stay stuck. They avoid responsibility, they run from discomfort, and they waste energy on things they can't control. But now that you know this, what will you do with it? Because here's the thing, it's not enough to understand these principles, you have to live them. Taking responsibility means holding yourself accountable every single day. Embracing discomfort means showing up, even when it's hard. And focusing on what you can control means letting go of the noise and channeling your energy where it matters most. You don't have to change everything all at once. Just start. One choice, one habit, one step at a time. Remember, the Stoics didn't promise an easy life. They promised a meaningful one. And that meaning begins when you decide to take control of your story. If this resonated with you, let me leave you with one final question. What's one thing you'll do differently today? And if you're ready to dig deeper into what's holding you back, make sure to watch the next video. Why you'll still keep running behind people who don't value you. It's another hard truth, but one that can help you break free from the relationships and patterns that are keeping you stuck. Until next time, stay resilient, stay disciplined, and as always, take ownership of your life.